You know those times when life just feels overwhelming? It's like, how do you even find the strength to move forward? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful framework designed for exactly that. It's called Resilience Mobility Therapy, or RMT for short, and it's all about offering a new way to tap into the strength you already have.
I mean, who hasn't felt that, right? That feeling of being totally stuck in survival mode, where you're just trying to make it through the day. It could be a big crisis, or it could just be total burnout from the daily grind. RMT is really designed to help us break free from that cycle and make the leap from just surviving to actually thriving.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll cover what RMT actually is. Then we'll look at the therapy framework itself. From there, we'll get into the really cool stuff. Mapping your journey, activating your potential, using holistic and cultural tools, and finally, checking out the whole expanded toolkit. Let's get into it.
So what exactly is RMT? Well, at its core, it's all about something called holistic resilience theory. And what that really means is that RMT gets that resilience isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It uses interventions that actually connect with your culture, because it understands that our strength, our personal stories, and our backgrounds, they're all totally intertwined. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does it actually work in a therapy setting? Let's break down the framework.
And the first thing that jumps out is just how adaptable this is. We're talking sessions that last about 60 to 90 minutes, usually weekly or every other week. But here's the cool part. It can be short-term, like just 6 to 8 sessions for a specific issue, or it can be a longer-term thing, maybe up to 16 sessions if you're dealing with more complex trauma. And it's not just stuck in an office. It can be done in person, through telehealth, or even in community settings. Super flexible.
All right, let's get into the techniques. You know how on any map, there's that little dot that says, "You are here"? That's basically the first step in RMT. It has some really incredible tools to help you visualize your own personal resilience landscape. It's literally about creating a map to find your way forward. And that brings us to one of the coolest core techniques, and it's called resilience cartography. Yep, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the practice of map making, but for your own inner journey. You use things like drawings, symbols, whatever metaphors feel right, and you turn that abstract feeling of being stuck or overwhelmed into something tangible, a real map you can follow.
This is such a perfect way to picture it. Imagine drawing your life out as a river. The rapids? That's the crisis you just navigated. Those slow bends in the river? That's where you adapted, where you had a moment to breathe. And where's the river going? To a new, calm lake. That's your future. All of a sudden, the journey doesn't feel so chaotic anymore, does it? It actually has a path.
So, along with making the map, you also do something called resource mapping. It's basically taking inventory of what you've got in your backpack for the journey. What strengths do you already have? We're talking internal stuff like your beliefs and values, but also external things like your friends, your family, your community. So often, we completely overlook our best resources. And this whole process is designed to bring them right into the spotlight.
Okay, so you've got your map, you've packed your resources, now what? Well, it's time to actually start walking. This next phase is all about turning that potential you've identified into real, concrete action.
So, first up is a technique with a fancy name, Sustained Immediate Resilience Inquiry, or SIR Inquiry. Let's break that down. It looks at the coping skills we use in a crisis, the things we do just to get through, and those are absolutely essential in the moment. But what happens when we keep using them long after the crisis is over? Sometimes they can actually start to hold us back. This inquiry helps you spot those patterns. Here's a classic example. You've got a crazy deadline. Your crisis tactic? Skip meals, pull an all-nighter. And hey, it might work once, but if that becomes your go-to strategy, you're heading straight for burnout. The sustainable strategy that comes out of this process is totally different. It's about scheduling breaks, actually protecting your sleep, preventing the burnout before it even starts. See the shift? It's moving from short-term survival to long-term well-being. And that naturally leads to the next step, resilience potential activation. This is so key. A core belief in RMT is that every single person already has resilience inside them. It might be latent, kind of like a dormant seed, but it's definitely there. This whole technique is about watering that seed. It's about waking that potential up, validating it, and nurturing it into an active skill you can use every single day.
I absolutely love this therapist reframe because it shows this in action so perfectly. A client comes in and says, "I feel like I'm just surviving." And instead of just agreeing, the therapist reframes it. They say, "Wait a minute, to survive what you went through required incredible strength. It's not about ignoring the pain, it's about finding the power inside that pain." And then asking, "Okay, How can we use that same incredible strength to focus on living well now?
Okay, now we're going to go a little deeper. This is where RMT gets its really unique richness. The next set of tools are all about connecting our resilience to our culture, to our bodies, and even to our spirit. Because let's face it, we are whole beings, not just minds.
One of the most powerful tools here is cultural storytelling and metaphor integration. Think about it. By tapping into the stories and metaphors from your own cultural background, you can find a whole new language to talk about what you've been through. It connects your personal journey to a much bigger shared story of what it means to endure and be resilient.
And this example of the baobab tree is just so beautiful. For this client from an African background, the tree becomes a living symbol of their own life. The roots digging deep into the earth, that's family. The thick, strong trunk, that represents all their past strengths. It's not just a nice image. It strengthens their identity and gives them a powerful personal symbol of their own endurance. And this is so important. RMT doesn't just live in your head. With what's called resilience potential embodiment practice, it brings all these insights right into your body. This could be anything from using culturally significant music, to movement, to specific breath work. The point is to translate an idea, like "I am strong," into a felt experience. It helps your body actually learn how to regulate itself and feel grounded.
So, what we've covered so far are the real core techniques of RMT. But that's just the starting point. The framework actually opens up into this whole expanded toolkit with tons of resources that can be mixed and matched for anyone. And just take a look at the range here. You've got things like resilience journaling, using faith-based metaphors if that's meaningful to you, all the way to things like indigenous dialogue circles, or actively working on your social network. It's this huge, rich toolkit that lets a therapist really pull in whatever's going to work best for a specific person.
And really, when you boil it all down, that's the true power of RMT. It's adaptability. This is not some rigid, cookie-cutter approach. These tools are designed to be used for short-term therapy, for longer-term work, and they can be integrated seamlessly with other therapeutic methods. It's all about what works for you.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Think about your own life, your own resilience as a journey. If you were to start drawing your map right now, what's the first landmark you'd put on it? What's that one strength, that one person, that one story that marks your "you are here" spot?